Hello, this is Dr. McClellan. In this video, it is a long video, but it has more than one part. Someone asked for a video about several things in the Essay 1 assignments, and so I'm just going to go ahead and cover all of them. Now, I'm not going to read all of the introduction and explanation. This is for you to read. I'm just going to do the assignments and show you my examples. Okay. I also took the opportunity to update my document that I use, my sample example document I use in my classes. So this document may not look exactly like the one that you have in your class, and I will make this one available. Okay, so the first thing you have to do is write a thesis statement, an expository thesis statement. Now, don't get confused. An expository thesis statement doesn't explain anything. Expository means to inform. Now, you have to decide if it's an academic topic or not. So when I decided to write about apples, where's my Google Scholar? I needed to go to Google Scholar and I needed to put in apples because I need to search for apples and I needed peer-reviewed journal articles from academic journals. I probably could have just put journal once. Okay. So I've got, these have apples in the title, but they're not about apples, apples. So I've got apple phytochemicals and health benefits, apples don't far, oh, oh, health benefits and safety of apple pomace. Um, oh gosh. See, there's a lot of things that's not actually about apples. So what I could do, fruit, I could put in the fruit. So what I'm looking at here, what I'm looking for is to make sure that there are academic articles about my topic. Am I going to use these? Maybe, maybe not. I'm not going to use them in the pre-writing though, and I'm not going to use them to come up with my thesis statement. Um, in this set of assignments, we don't use research until we get to the research. I'm just making sure that this is that there is research about my academic topic. And one of the ways I can do it, see, you'll notice that um, the words that are in my search engine that I typed into the search box are going to be highlighted or bold-faced in the title, see, fruit, review, preference for apples, and then also in this little review of it, it does the same thing. Fruits, apples, papers reviewed, apples, scientific backing, fruit, science. Same thing, um, but it's not necessarily what I'm looking for. Oh, here we go. Apple fruits. So we've got apple fruit, reviewed, skin flavonoids for UVB protection. So I'm so sorry too. I've been sick, so I'm coughing in your ear. Sorry. So yeah, I can count 5 articles. 5 articles. So I'm gonna go back to my topic. It's okay. Now, what kind of stance am I gonna have? Now, sometimes it's easier to talk about your to get your major supporting details in your plan of development first. So as I talk myself through this, I'm like, well, apples. What do I want to talk about? Um, uh, well, they're healthy. They're healthy. Well, okay, why are they healthy? They're healthy because they have fiber, vitamins, and flavors so people eat them. Okay, so I've got the beginning here. I've talked my way through it. That's a be verb. And I can't use be verbs because Dr. McClellan says don't use be verbs. So what am I going to do here? I'm going to come up here. I'm going to go back to Google. I always get that wrong. Synonyms for have. And I'm going to look up synonyms for have. And it needs to be a verb. So see, verb. And possess sounds pretty good, but I don't know. Possess is kind of, I don't like, you know, I don't know. Somebody I don't like. So I'm going to go possesses synonym. And I'm going to look at the verbs, the synonyms that are verbs. Yeah, none of this actually, I mean, own isn't too bad. Own, what are own? Contains, be the owner of, count, admit, allow, concede, grant. Eh, not really. Retain's not bad, but it really doesn't fit with what I'm trying to say. But in all of my searching, I came up with the word contain in my own brain. That rhymes. And I like it. I like it. So I'm going to go with apples contain fiber, vitamins, and flavor. Now, if you're going to, so let me talk about the colors. I highlight my examples because it makes it easier for you to know what you're supposed to be looking at. And I'll tell you where I came up with this. And it may help you with keeping track of what you're doing. My oldest son, JP, who's 40, what are they? 42, 42, 41, and 40? Yeah. So my kids are 42, 41, and 40. And they're JP, Brian, and Jessica. So JP has a comprehension dyslexia. And what we learned when he was in school is that if we would highlight different parts of what he was reading, like the main idea and then the supporting ideas and then the conclusion, it was easier for him to understand, to find it, to understand it, and to be able to take tests about what he was reading. So if you want to use your highlighting, if you want to use highlighting like I do, especially um, if you want to be able to keep everything straight in your brain, this is a good idea. This is a very good technique. So topics are yellow, stances are greens, and planet developments, I just use blue and pink and red. You can use, all blue if you want to. It's up to you. So now that I've got my thesis statement and Dr. McClellan has approved it, here, let me approve it. Let me show you that it's approved. It is, where's my check marks? Oh, I used to have check marks. Oh, I tell you what, I'll use this one. There we go. And I'm going to add my text 100%. Woohoo! So there's my grade, 100%. Now look, oh, because my grammar, punctuation, spelling is correct too. I I try to make hundreds on all my assignments. I'm OCD about my grades. If you're not OCD about your grades, if a 60 is fine with you, then a 60 is fine with me. If a 40 is fine with you, a 40 is fine with me. Just remember, whatever mistakes you make on this assignment, on this one sentence, and that's all I want is one sentence. On this one sentence, it's going to carry through to the rest of your assignments. And if it's if it's a mistake in your stance or your topic or in one of your major supporting details, it's going to throw the rest of your assignments off. Okay, so enough preaching. So now I'm coming up to the pre-writing. So I've got my thesis statement up here. I made a good grade on my thesis statement. I'm ready to go. So the first thing I'm going to write about, I'm going to do a set of reporters questions, or I'm going to answer a set of reporters questions about my topic, apples. And you'll see here that they're just very simple questions. Who eats apples? What is an apple? Where are apples grown? When are apples harvested? Why are apples eaten? Um, how are apples usually eaten? And I've asked these very simple questions because I need to be able to answer all of these questions without research. It's not about what you can find about your topic, it's what you already know about your topic in essay 1. And I get a lot of students say, well, it sounds repetitious. It's one, not unnecessary repetition because what you're doing here. So the pre-writing is all about depth and scope. So scope is does your pre-writing address every aspect of your topic? So do my reporters questions remember reporters questions are who, what, where, when, why, how questions are do they cover do they cover every aspect of my topic, apples? Yeah, they pretty much. I mean, who eats them? What are they? What size are they? When are they harvested? Where are they grown? Why do people eat them? And in what different forms do people eat them? Yeah, so you're not repeating yourself unnecessarily. You are providing scope in your writing. And then depth. Depth is you have both general statements. So this is very general. I mean, people all over the world eat apples. This is very specific. It tells you not only that apples are eaten raw, but they're cooked. And not only are they cooked, but what they're cooked in and what type of food it is and where they do that and why they do that. So this is even more specific. So depth is having a combination about your topic and your stance and your three major details of general and specific statements, and you'll see how that's going to play out on the outline. So stance questions and answers are usually, let me move this down so we can look at the whole section, are usually the hardest ones to do. And I'm going to make this just a little bit bigger so y'all can see it better. Because people are like, well, I don't know what my stance is. I don't know what my stance is. Well, remember that your stance, if you did the reading, stance is your tone and your purpose and your attitude, the author, and that's you, the author's attitude about the topic. So I am taking a positive tone about apples, not a negative tone. And my stance is they're healthy. Well, what's healthy? Apples are healthy. And this is how you build depth and scope in the stance, the answers in your stance. I have healthy, 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 and healthy. I'm telling you 6 different ways that apples, 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 and apples are healthy, 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 and healthy. Because that's what I'm trying to convey to my audience, that apples are healthy and people should eat them. Okay? Does that make sense? If it doesn't, then you need to talk to me. Now let's look at our major supporting details. So my first one is it's going to focus on fiber and apples. So I got fiber, apples, fiber, apples, fiber, apples, fiber, apples, fiber, apples, fiber, and apples. Now, when we look at this, you're going to say, oh, Dr. McClellan, you've got fiber and apples, fiber and apples, fiber and apples, fiber and apples. Yes, I know. And if you want to change them around and say apples have fiber in their skin, so if you want to change this one and say and their skins and the fruit's flesh. You're more than welcome to do that because you're still focusing on your topic and your major supporting detail. All right. So the same thing with the next two major supporting details. I got vitamins in apples. Apples contain vitamins. Vitamins in apples. Vitamins in apples and apples. Now the reason that I have apples in here twice is because I want to make sure that my audience understands that it's when apples are fresh and insecticide free, not vitamins. And then this one because this one is they refers to the vitamins in apples. See, it refers to vitamins. And so I have apples twice in this sentence because I want my audience to know that I'm talking about apples, our favorite snack for children, not vitamins. Though, I mean, my kids always loved Flintstones chewable vitamins. I always thought they tasted terrible, but my kids loved them. But that the they here refers to vitamins. That I don't want to use a pronoun here because it would it be referring to apples or would it be referring to the vitamins? It calls into question what I'm talking about. And I want it to be very clear. So that's not unnecessary repetitious. In academic writing and in workplace writing, and please remember that part of the reason this is so different from what you've done in high school is because college writing is closer to professional workplace writing than it is to high school writing. And academic writing and professional writing is to the point, it's as concise as possible, and it's as clear as possible. Okay. And then the same thing here in my major supporting detail 3, flavor in apples. So I've got flavor apples, they talking about taste or flavor. I'm sorry, they, which refers to apples. I need to look at my question again. And then taste to taste. And you'll notice I'm using synonyms. I'm using flavor and taste and flavor and taste and flavor and taste. You can you could do the same thing here. I could say nutrients in apples instead of vitamins. So that's a way to get away. If you feel like you're using the same words over and over again, that's a way to do is look up synonyms for that word. But make sure you have to think about it. Writing is critical thinking on paper. So the in any English class, in any class where you have to write essays, the vehicle is the class subject. So in English, it's writing. Writing is the vehicle. The passenger is critical thinking, and the driver is you, the writer. And where you take that critical thinking, that determines how good your writing is because it's critical thinking. Professional writing is critical thinking. Okay. So let's move on to the next section. So this section is about how to make your pre-writing ready for outline formatting. And the most common mistake I get, let me talk about most common mistakes. The most common mistakes I get here is that students don't do who, what, where, when, why, how. They do two whats or three whens, or they only do who, what, where. Okay, you need a complete set of reporters' questions per section. One who, one what, one where, one when, one why, one how. That's six questions. And you need six answers, one for each one. If you have problems coming up with a question about anything about your topic, your stance, or any of your major supporting details, talk to me. I have questions. Lots and lots. I'm a questioner. I have lots and lots of questions. I was the type of kid who said, why, what, where. So when, how, who. I sounded like, oh, my mother, she told me I drove her crazy when I was a kid. So I can help you with your questions. And like, let's say for example, you come up with two what questions. Well, I want to put that, don't put the extra question in there. This is what you have to decide, which one is the most important of those two questions, and then put the most important one in. This not only, so what this type of pre-writing does is it does two things. One, for those students like myself who had a hard time developing their essays, this helps you develop your essay. First of all, you don't start off with a blank page because you can put in, excuse me, the basic format, the topics, the stance, the subtitles, topic, stance, major sporting detail, one, two, three, and then you can fill in that information, and then you can just type out who, what, where, when, why, how, and then copy and paste it, and then finish out your questions and your answers. So you don't start off with a blank page, but this helps you develop because you're sitting here and you don't have a how question, but you need a how question. And so you're focusing on what kind of how questions can I ask about my topic or my stance or, my three major supporting details. Now, for those of you who have too much development, you overdevelop your writing, this helps you focus. So if you've ever gotten that comment, um, you need to focus more. This is what you need to focus on. So this will help you develop and this will help you focus. Okay. And it gives you something to start with. All right, now let's go down to pre-writing, making the pre-writing ready for outline formatting. So let me copy and paste all of this. So the most common mistake I get with this from students is you guys don't read the instructions or you don't understand them. So let's take a look at this. Ooh, okay, so I'm just getting my pre-writing ready for outline formatting. This is just my first step. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take off all my subtitles because those do not go on the outline. Now remember, this is Dr. McClellan's type of outline, and it may not look like any type of outline you've ever done before. So I'm going to get rid of all of the subtitles. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of all of the questions. And this is the boring part. So I'm going to show you the first section, and then I'm going to stop the video, do the rest of them, and start the video back up. Okay, I don't want y'all falling asleep on me too much. Okay, so I've taken all the subtitles out, and I've taken out all the questions. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move my outline down here and also add a title up here. So apples, nature's healthy candy. And you need to read what it says about in the instructions what titles are supposed to look like. You don't necessarily have you don't have to put the colon. You may not need a colon. If you need it, put it. If you don't worry about it. But you should have your topic in your title, and you should have your stance, something about your stance. So apples, that's easy enough. Nature's healthy candy. So I have written a positive essay. I'm going to have a positive essay about apples, that they're both healthy and really good, really sweet and good. And that's what comes, but they're also, they're natural, they're healthy, but they're also really good. So I have gotten my topic and my purpose and my tone from my stance into this title. Now the next thing you want to do is make sure that you take away all of all of these unnecessary blank spaces because it'll mess with your formatting if you don't. Okay. Yep. Okay, so let me review. Take out your subtitles. So take out topic, stance, major supporting detail 1, major supporting detail 2, and major supporting detail 3. Take out all of the questions. The questions don't go past the pre-writing. All you need are your sentences that are, your answers, all those sentences. Move your thesis statement to the end of the question of the answers, of the answers about your topic, and you'll see why in a minute. Add a title. Take out any unnecessary spacing, line spacing. And then this is very important, and this is what people miss a lot. So these are all the sentences about my stance. These are all the sentences about my stance. Oh, I missed one. I'm taking them out and I'm putting them, I'm going to paste them here to the bottom, and this will make more sense when I actually do my outline. But just to preview it. So all of the sentences about my topic, about just general sentences, just my sentence about my apples, goes in the first section of my outline. Then I come over here and I look at my major supporting details. The ones about fiber, about my first major supporting detail, go next. The ones about my second major supporting detail, vitamins, go third. The ones about flavor, my third major supporting detail, go fourth. And then the ones about my stance go fifth. They go last. Okay? You with me so far? All right. Now, at this point, if you want to move some sentences around, you're welcome to do that. So, like if you feel like uh, if you feel like any of these sentences need to move, you can do it at this point. But sometimes it's hard to tell until you make this into an outline. So I'm going to copy and I'm going to paste my outline again. And I'm going to keep all my formatting. And this is one of the reasons I keep all my formatting. Um, I keep all my highlighting. It'll make it so much easier. It just goes so fast. Okay, so here's step 2 of formatting my outline. I'm going to I'm going to highlight the whole thing, and I'm going to come up here to my multi-level list formatting. And this is where a lot of people stop. And you can't stop here. If you read the instructions, if you read what I put up here, and you read what the assignment says, you know that this is not the end. This is not an outline. This is just a list with Roman numerals instead of Arabic numbers. Okay, so what do I do here? The first thing you need to do, and I'm going to take this step by step, according to the instructions, everything but the very first line needs to move to the right 1 tab. To the right 1 tab. And I'm just going to use the increase indent because I'm having problems with my keyboard. Okay. The only thing that is allowed to stay on the left margin is the title of your outline. The rest of this is going to be moved over some more. So let's talk about that. So the instructions tell you to format a 5-section outline with 3 or 4 excuse me, levels. So you'll see that my next, so that's a level, and this is a level. And you'll see that these are sections. So I have a ton of sections. So some of this needs to be moved over again. So the very first sentence of my first section is supposed to introduce my topic. Does this sentence in general introduce my topic? Yes, it does. There's my topic right there. So what do I do with the rest of these sentences all the way down to the topic, I'm sorry, to the thesis statement? They need to be indented one more time. So now I have one, two, I don't count the title level. I count the section level and then the minor, these are called minor supporting details, except for this one that's a thesis statement. So all of these minor supporting details and this thesis statement are moved over one more level. Now I need to move some over again. And this is where you start looking and realizing that some of these might need to be moved. See, as I'm looking at this, I'm trying to make sure that this is all coherent and unified. The outline assignment is about improving the coherency and unity of what will become your essay. And this is an easy way to do it because you can move the sentences when they're in a line like this and they're in their levels like this, it's easier to tell what needs to be moved. So this sentence, this sentence, and this sentence are both about eat. This is about the size of apples. This is about um, where fruit are grown. This is about where when they're harvested. So I want to move that one over one more because this is about growing, right? And this is about harvesting, which is a stage of growing apples. What about this sentence? This is about eating apples. If you said, yes, it needs to be moved up here, you are correct. You are correct. Now, does this fit here? I think it does. I'm going to leave it there. You may disagree with me. That's okay. We all have different opinions. But look at what I did. I went from a general statement about apples being eaten to a little bit more specific or a why, a reason, a reason why people eat apples, and then very specifically about how apples are eaten. So this sentence needs to be over one more. The more specific your sentence is, the more specific detail in your sentence, the more likely it needs to be closer to the right margin. So minor supporting details are specific details, and we typically go from general to specific. Now, I know this really doesn't fit in here to most people, but I think it looks okay, and I'm going to leave it there. Or what I could do is I could put it up here, and I've defined what an apple is, and then I could move that one over. What? I know. So let's do that. Now don't wrap yourself in knots about this. Don't get all wrapped up in knots about it. It'll be okay. So I've defined what an apple is here. A good way, think about this for your research too. A good way to introduce a topic is with a definition of what the topic is in your words, not a quote. I obviously know what an apple is, so I said an apple is a small round fruit. And then I moved to people eat apples and the reason why. And then most apples are eaten how. And then I go to how they're grown and then when they're harvested specifically in the United States. So that's very specific. And then to my, I come down to my thesis statement, which is, very specific. All right. So This is an A section, or you might be dealing with one, two, three. This is an A section, so I know this section needs to be B. So I know all of these blue sentences, see the blue? All of the blue sentences need to be moved over. Now I need to go back in here and I need to check because this sentence is a topic sentence. The first sentence of your body sections. This is the introduction section. Section A is my introduction. Section B, C, and D, those are my body sections. And the first sentence of each of the body sections is a topic sentence. And it needs to be about my first major supporting detail and of course my topic. So is this a statement? So this is what I'm asking myself. Is this sentence a statement about my first major supporting detail of my topic? Yes, people need to eat fiber every day, and apples are a tasty way to get it. So as I go through this, now I'm going to see which of these sentences, if any of them, and there's always at least one. If there's not, you got a problem. Did you hear that? There should always be at least one of these sentences to move to the right, to tab to the right. If you don't, then that's a problem, and you need to rewrite some sentences. Okay, so this one is about fiber in apple skin and flesh. This one is about, well, look, here's one about digestion. And as I'm looking through these sentences, there's another one about digestion. Oh, wow. And there's another one about digestion. What? So I need to put these sentences together. So I'm going to move these so that they are all together. I'm going to move this one down. Oh, let me try that again. Okay, so I got fiber apples digestion, fiber apples digestion, fiber apples digestion. And if I look at these sentences, let me focus on these before I go look at the other ones. Fiber in apples works its way through people's digestive systems. Oh, my bad. Fiber in apples makes people healthy because it keeps their digestion working like it's supposed to. That's a bit more specific than this sentence. So I'm going to tab that one over. Sorry. And then this one, it's not so specific, is it? So I'm actually going to move this one. I moved it up there. Now, apples works its way through people's digestive system. Fiber is important. Yeah, I'm going to move it up one more time. There we go. So, fiber, important, digestion, apples. Fiber, apples, people's digestive systems is a little bit more specific. So I'm going to move that one over. And then this one, fiber, apples, people, healthy digestion. See how more specific I'm getting? So that's a statement about digestion and apples and fiber. This one adds in the word people, and then this one adds more, but it also adds in people. So let's add the word, it adds the word healthy. Okay, are you with me? Well, let's look at these other ones. Okay, people need to eat fiber every day. Oh, so this is about fiber in people and fiber in people, and this sentence is about fiber in people. So do I need to move these sentences up here, or is it okay the way they are? I'm going to say this is okay the way they are because the very next sentence is about fiber, apples, people, and healthy. So I'm going to leave these sentences in this order. And I go from fiber, fiber, apples, fiber, apples, people, excuse me, fiber, apples, digestion, fiber, apples, people's digestion, fiber, apples, people, healthy digestion. So I'm getting more and more specific. Now don't panic if this doesn't work out. You know, if you're not used to doing it this way. But you're just looking for it's if you think about it this way, I'm looking for keywords. I'm looking for keywords, and then the more keywords I have in a sentence, the more likely it is to be tabbed more than once to the right. Okay, so this section is section B, so this has to be section C. Now these are purple, these are vitamins. So I'm going to move all of my vitamins to the right one time. And see, here's my Arabic numbers. And then I'm just going to go through and do the exact same thing. So humans need to eat vitamins to stay healthy, and apples are full of vitamins. Apples contain a variety of vitamins from A to zinc. So I get a little bit more specific. Most of the vitamins in apples are in the peel. Um, you could leave this one here, but I would move this one up here because this is supporting this sentence, supports this sentence by giving you a where information. And then we've got nutrients. I'm going to move that one over too because again, it's talking about the vitamins in apples and it's in the peel. And then they are important in apples. I'm going to actually move this sentence. So this one is they make people healthy, and I'm going to move this one over because this is a why apples, the flavor of apples is important because because even though I don't say flavor, but I say it's a favorite snack for children and those of us who have, who know children or were a child, we know that children eat sweets. They're devoted to eating sweets. Okay, so I know this has to be section D because that's section C. So I'm going to take all of my red ones and I'm going to move over. And then this one's pretty easy. I'm going to tab that one over and I'm going to tab that one over because this is people flavor apples, apples flavor. And so that talks about sweet, tart, or sour. And this talks about why apples taste that way because of chemical reactions. And here I talk about when they taste best. Oh, I'm going to move that one over too because I think that comes from sweet, tart, or sour. It goes with when do they, it explains when they taste best. This is a why, this is a what, this is a why, and this is a when. And then people probably like the taste of apples um, because there's so many different flavors, right? Because they're sweet, tart, or sour. So I'm explaining why, and then I'm explaining what uh, I'm explaining here how people have tasted, have changed the flavor of apples. Okay, so let's get to this one. So this section has to be E because this one is D. So I'm going to move all my green sentences over. So like the introduction section of your outline, the first section, the last section with all the sentences about your stance is different from the middle. This is your conclusion section. So what you want to ask yourself is this a good concluding statement? So just like I ask, is this a good topic sentence? Is this a good concluding statement for my outline? Now, in this set of assignments, your concluding statement, your conclusion, needs to be a summary. So it needs to um, summarize what you've already said without exactly repeating yourself. Don't copy and paste your thesis statement to here. It's not going to work. I won't take it. So I'm going to go and I'm going to look. Okay, I've got my topic. I've restated my topic, apples, and I have with one word, I have restated my stance, eating healthy. I want people to eat healthy. So yes, this is a good concluding statement. Notice I don't have all my major supporting details in here. I don't. I do sort of talk about apples some more. I really don't say a whole lot. I'm not going to rehash everything I've said about fiber, vitamins, and flavor, and I'm not adding any new information really either. So do I need to move anything over? Um, I think I need to move this one down because I either need to move, actually, I think I'm gonna move it up. I'm sorry. These people. There we go. So people want to eat healthy. Apples are a good choice. Where do they sell them? Grocery stores sell healthy food like apples. Most people consider fruits, vegetables, fruits like apples, whole grains, and lean meats healthy to eat. This, I'm going to move back. I'm going to move back. And I'm going to move this one up, and I'll show you in a minute what I'm going to do with this one. There we go. And I'm going to move that one up. I'm specifically trying to make that my last sentence. Okay, so let's go back. Okay, topic, stance, healthy, apples. So grocery stores, most people, apples are sweet and one healthy way to satisfy. So that's people. So I've got people here and I've got people here. So uh, I'm gonna tab that sentence towards the right margin. I got people here, and I'm actually, you know what? Now that I look at this, I'm gonna move this up. There we go. So I got people, and then I've got people. All right, so let's see what I've also got people here. So I've got most people want to eat healthy and apples are a good choice. Healthy apples, apples healthy people. And this is a very broad statement. This is apples healthy people. It's more specific. And this one is even more specific. And you could argue with me that this one needs to be here because this is raw apples. But I think I like this one better. I like this one better here. I think it reads better. Okay, and then this very last one, excuse me, I'm going to tab it over one more. Now, whether you tab it over or not, because some of you may think, no, this needs to be um, a B. No matter where it is, what no matter what level it's on, you want your last sentence of your outline because it'll eventually be the last sentence of your essay. You want it to um, you really want it to be a mic drop statement, and what that means is you want it to be something that people remember because we have TikTok attention spans now. So I don't even watch long TikToks. If it says it's 7 minutes, I won't even watch a 7 minute TikTok. That's pretty sad. But people remember the first thing that they read and they remember the last thing that they read. And this is a little psychological edge. So many people decide to eat healthy in their mid 20s because living on pizza and beer is hard on their bodies. So my audience is you, my students, and most of y'all are, probably 18. Some of y'all are older than that. um, but yeah, at some point in your growth, as you age, you're going to realize, oh, I can't just eat pizza and drink beer and not gain weight. I was about in my mid-20s when I realized I couldn't sit and eat a whole pizza over the course of a few hours without, gaining 10 pounds the next day. I was in my 30s when I figured out I couldn't eat more than a couple of pieces of pizza. And now I turned 60 this year. Um, Not this year, but last year. I turned 60 last year. Um, I have figured out that I really can't eat pizza anymore unless I make pizza. If I make my own pizza, it's okay, but I just can't seem to go out and eat pizza anymore. It's not good for my body. So what you're trying to do here, what I'm trying to do here is make a connection with my audience. If nothing else, if you haven't come to this realization yet because you're not old enough yet, your body's not old enough. It's not about maturation, maturity and adultness. It's about it's about the age of your body. If you don't know this yet, at some point you're going to try to you're going to realize, "Oh my gosh, Dr. McClellan was right. I can't eat beer and pizza anymore. It's hard on my body." Um, so I'm trying to make a connection with my audience because um, this is also kind of funny. But when you write, you want to try to make a psychological connection with your audience. And that goes for professional writing and academic writing. But you want to do it in um, an academic professional writing style. Okay, so here's my outline. Now I'm gonna zoom out on this because I want you to see. There we go. That'll work. So see, I have my title. I want you to see the formatting from far off. So I have my title, and it's all the way on the left margin. I've got my 5 sections. So I've got section A, B, C, D, E. I've got one, two, one, two, three, four. I've got 5 sentences. These are called minor supporting details. The Arabic numbers are minor supporting details. I have 5 sentences after my topic sentences at B, C, and D. So there's 6 sentences in each section. There should be 6 sentences in each section. And then I have sentences that are so this is level 1. I have sentences on level 2. I have sentences on level 3. And I think I even had one on level 4. Yeah, right here. I have one on level 4. So my my so what you're doing when you check this, so what's my topic? Apples. What's my topic highlighted in? Yellow. As you can see, all throughout all throughout my outline, you see yellow. And the reason you see yellow is because my topic is all throughout my outline. This is not unnecessary repetition. This is necessary repetition because otherwise people aren't going to remember what you're talking about. And then you see I have a section dominated by blue, one dominated by pink, one dominated by red, and one dominated by green. Just by looking at this, I can tell that I have coherency and unity. All these yellows mean that I have unity. I've talked about my topic all the way through my outline, and then my coherency is I got I got yellow in the first section, blue dominates the second one, purple dominate or pink dominates the third one, red dominates the fourth one, and green dominates the fifth one. So that means that this one is dominated by my topic. Make it a little bit bigger. This one is dominated by my topic. This one is dominated by my first major supporting detail. This one is dominated by my second major supporting detail. This one focuses all about on my third major supporting detail, and this one focuses on my stance. Okay, I told y'all this was going to be a long video. Don't try to watch this all at one sitting. Okay, so I'm going to copy and paste. So I'm going to copy and I'm going to paste it under adding research to an outline. When you do this assignment, you are not outlining your research. You are adding your research to your outline. You are adding your research to your outline. Now I've got my quote already, and I've got I've already got my quote, and I'm going to copy and paste it, and it goes right here. Now I'm already going to, before I even paste it in, I'm going to put it, oh, and it didn't do it, did it? Hold on. I am going to put it closer to the right margin than this sentence. Why? Because, there we go, because this quotation supports this sentence. So it needs to be moved to the right. Okay? Research, your research supports what you say. Now, if you were taught the way I was taught in high school, you go do all this research and then you cobble together this research essay that's all about the research and nothing about what you think. And that's not how academic writing works. That is not academic writing. That's a lit review. That's a literature review, and that's something very specialized that you're only going to do if you decide to do a doctorate in your topic, do a doctorate degree. We're not doing literature reviews. So the research, and that's why there's little to no research in your pre-writing because you are using it strictly to support what you are saying. Okay, so apples have fiber in their skins and in the fruit's flesh. And I found an author named James Shore, and I found a quote that I can use, and this is expert opinion. This essay is expert opinion research. The next one is data. So this is James Shore states that. So that's my lead in. You don't just stick a quote in your essay. I'm sorry, you don't just stick a quote in your outline. You have to put your words to connect it so that it connects to what you've already said above it. So James Shore states, that's the easiest one to do, or according to James Shore. And then there is my direct quote. There we go. My direct quote. Apples' skins contain 98% of an apple's fiber. So there's my direct quote. Make sure that you are enclosing it in double quotation marks. That's my direct quote. I don't do paraphrases. Uh, no, well, I was going to say, I don't know of any of instructors here who use just paraphrases except Dr. Spencer, and she's retiring. Okay, I only take direct quotes, and they have to be exactly like they are from your secondary source, your research source. After your direct quote, you need one space, and then you open up a set of parentheses, and in the parentheses, you use the author's name in your lead in, and you use the title of your article in your parenthetical notation, or it's also called parenthetical citation. Make sure that you capitalize all the important words and you enclose it in quotation marks inside the parentheses. Journal article titles are enclosed in quotation marks. If you have a page number, put the page number of your article where you get your quote from, not the page number of the PDF, the page number of the article. And then you close your parentheses and you put a period. Okay? All right. So the rest of this stays the same. Let me insert a page break here. Now I need to do, now I'm going to show you my works cited entry. This is where you're going to do your works cited page. One more page break. There we go. So when you use a direct quote in your outline, then you have to do your works cited page. Why did that not? Okay, page break. There we go. So this is my works cited page. Oh, hold on. You put your title, work or works cited. This is the only one that you're only going to use uh, one quote. Okay, I was just checking it didn't look right. So you put your title, works cited. You put the author's name first. Now this is the only place that you put the author's last name, comma, first name. And I'm going to expand on this a little bit. What if you have an author? What if you have multiple authors? Okay, if you have two authors, then um, you're going to put the first author that's listed. You're going to put them last name, comma, first name, another comma, the word and then the second author's name, and you're going to put it first name, last name. This is the only time, the only place, and the only name that you're going to put last name, first name. So if you do that, then you have to come up here and you have to add the second author's name. And of course, then this becomes state. James Shure and Carrie Young state that. Okay, you with me? Okay, I'm going to show you one more. Excuse me. One more. Let's say you have 3 or 4 or 5 or 50 authors. If you have 3 or more authors, then you use the Latin abbreviation for the Latin abbreviation for and more, which is et al. So it's last name, comma, first name, comma. This is, remember, this is our author that's listed first, and then you put et lowercase space al period. Now, if you do that here, you have to also do it here. And so this would be James Shure et al. Period, comma. James Shure et al. Oh, you know what? Oh, I need to look something up. Is there, this is terrible. I never can remember this. Is there a comma after, no, a comma before et al. Meaning and others, short and APA. I guess it's all about. There we go. Okay, hold on, let me make sure. MLA formatting. A comma is needed after the name before. Yeah, a comma is needed after the name before et al. In the works cited citation, but not required. Okay, cool, cool, cool. So what that says is here I don't need a comma. Now you do need one here, so you need one. You need one after the period. I know it looks weird, but just do it. And then here it does need a comma, and I have it. Okay, so I'm going to go on. You might need to watch this last section more than once, depending on what kind of research, how many authors you have on your research. If you're confused about it all, send me it, talk to me about it, send me a screenshot of it, and we can talk about it in email. Okay, so the second thing is the title of my journal article capitalize all of the important words, and it's the entire title, even if it's really long. Then a period, close your quotation marks. This is the title of the journal. Journal, article, journal. The titles of journals are italicized. Okay, the rest of the information is publication information. This is the volume number and the issue number, and then date of publication, and then the page number, and then this is the DOI number. And DOI, hold on, uh, I never can remember DOI, refined DOI, digital object identifier. Yes. So it's a string of letters, numbers, symbols used to uniquely identify an article or document and to provide it with a permanent URL. So I should be able to, and I won't, so don't get excited, but I should be able to go to this DOI and find this article. And you'll notice that my URL is not active. So be sure to remove hyperlink, do the remove hyperlink on this. You can Google how to do that. And then this is my annotation. It is formatted as a paragraph. That means that it is indented 10 spaces or one tab, and it answers these four questions. What's the article about? So you have to read enough of it to know what the article's about. Why does it support this essay? And notice you're writing in third person, so it's this essay, not my essay. Uh, why does it? And that's a general statement. Why does it support this essay? How does it support this essay? That's a specific answer. And then why is this author, or since these authors, why the author or authors are credible because they cite data from several studies on apple fiber and includes a list of scholarly references. Okay, so what's the article about? Why does it support this essay? How does it support this essay? And why is this author or authors credible? All right. Okay. So I'm going to move on. I'm going to copy and paste this. Copy and paste the whole thing. And now I'm going to format this outline into my draft. I know that I know that y'all like me when you were taught that, you know, you got to do a rough draft. You got to write a bunch of stuff down. Well, I don't do it that way. And the reason I don't do it that way is because if you do well, if you write a good pre-writing with depth and scope by answering all of the reporter's questions in all 5 sections, and then you um, you work your outline so that it has coherency and unity, you have two rough drafts. You have two different versions of the same rough draft. Um, Stanford, I think it's Stanford, years ago, um, studied freshman comp students, and what they found is that by doing free writing and um, mind mapping or clustering or whatever, and even outlining, what they found was that students, what they wrote when they first started writing, only 10% of it ended up on their final draft. So if you sit down, and I'm just going to use round numbers, if you sit down and you write a thousand word pre-writing, only 100 of those words make it into the draft. Well, I don't know about y'all, but I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that. So this is a process. This is my writing process that I've developed over, I'm not going to say how many decades. 30 decades? 3 decades? Oh gosh, yeah, about 30, no, longer than that. 4 decades. I've been working on this process for about 40 years, and this is what I've come up with, and this is what I'm teaching you. By knowing, by already knowing what you need to what you need to write about, who, what, where, when, why, how, it saves you time. You end up with what you need in the final draft, and it saves you time getting there. It helps you with your focus, it helps you with your development, it helps you with your scope, it helps you with your coherency, it helps you with your unity. It helps you put your research in because um, it helps you know what to research. So I researched apples and fiber. So when you do your research assignment, look up your topic and each of your major supporting details. And you'll find something, some academic article that will have a quote that will work in your essay. That's where I get my quotes from, is I look up apples plus fiber, apples plus vitamins, and apples plus flavor. And that's how I came up with a really good quotation about apples and fiber. Okay, I know this is not how you're used to doing it, but this is how I do it. And this is how my assignments work it. Okay, so just like with your pre-writing, you've got to remove the outline formatting from, you got to move your outline formatting. Now, that um, there's a reason that I'm not taking all this off. I didn't take it all off like this because it takes all my highlighting off and I want my highlighting. So I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to move everything to the left margin. I'm not going to make y'all watch me move everything to the left margin. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back. Sorry. So as you can see, I've taken the outline formatting off. I'm leaving the rest of the formatting just so you can look at it. And when I make this into the as I make this into the draft, it'll make more sense. Now I'm going to go ahead and record me moving all of these sentences around into paragraphs. So that's what I'm doing for the draft. I'm making everything into paragraphs. And I'm going to go ahead and insert a page break because I want to move this down to its own page. And I'm going to move that down one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to format the paragraphs first, and I'm going to go ahead and record all of it because moving these sentences around you can run into several different issues, and I want to address them while I'm doing it. And then I'm going to go put my MLA formatting on it. Okay, so the title goes in the middle of the page. MLA says that titles go in the middle of pages. Now I want to make my my 5 sections of my outline into 5 paragraphs. So the first line, not the first sentence, it ends up being the first sentence, but the first line of a paragraph is indented 10 spaces or 1 tab. Now I need to move the rest of these sentences so it makes a paragraph. This is just a different type of section from sections and outlines. So I'm going to put my cursor here at the end of that sentence, that first sentence, or where I want it to be, where I want to move the second one to. So I'm going to put it at the end of the first sentence because I want to move it up. I'm going to put 1 space because there's 1 space in between a period and the next sentence. And all I'm doing is hitting the delete key until that second sentence moves up here. And then I'm going to do the same thing here. And I'm going to do the same thing here. And I'm even going to do that one because I just want to make sure that that's not enough space for me to move this rest of this sentence up. And I'm going to do it there. And I'm going to do it there. And you'll notice sometimes the sentences already have a space and sometimes they don't. And did you notice that? Let me go back. So this is one of the issues that you might run into. So there I am with my cursor right here, and I'm going to hit delete. And the sentence that I want to move, which is my thesis statement by the way, it moved up, but it didn't move all the way up. And see, if I make it, then it deletes that first letter. So it's okay down here. Now, these are the first section. All these sentences are the first section of my outline, and they're all the sentences about my topic. So I know that I need to make a new paragraph. And I'm going to go ahead because this is this is one of the problems that I have that students have. You want to go ahead and move that sentence up and then move it back down. And it may not even, it may be still be a problem because it looks like my, yeah, it looks like my double spacing is double spacing when I don't want it to. Okay, I'll talk about that when I get to the end of this. Okay, now I want to move my next sentence up here and my next sentence up there. Oh, wrong way. And next, and next. And remember, I want to check and make sure that I can't move anything else up. Okay, moved it up. That's good. And there we go. Okay, I'm out of blue. Now I'm on purple. So I'm gonna, there we go. I moved it up and then moved it back down. And see, oh, see that one? Most actually fit on there. Okay, and I'm gonna move that one and that one, and that one, and that one. Okay, now I'm down to red. So I'm gonna move the rest of my red ones. Oh, flavor just did fit in there, didn't it? Yeah, if you're having problems with your line spacing, it's probably because something really needed to be moved here to the end and you didn't, so it's gonna mess with your formatting. Okay, I'm out of red. Here's my green. Oh, that one's not gonna work, so I'm gonna do that one. I got that one. I got that one. Wait, that one didn't move. It didn't move up. Okay. I got 5 paragraphs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is my introduction paragraph. I know from looking at my plan of development, my next paragraph needs to be about fiber. There you go. The third one needs to be about vitamins. There you go. And the fourth one needs to be about flavor. And then the fifth one is about my stance. It focuses on my stance and my topic more than this one does. This one just introduces my topic and my stance. Okay. Whew. Now I'm going to go ahead and double space these. So see how this has a space here? So most word processing programs, I'm putting this in scare quotes too because they don't always, but typically they recognize when you are making paragraphs because you've indented that first sentence. So do not do this because you still got to double space it, right? Because your paragraphs are not double spaced. See how you have this way? You have too much spacing right here in between your paragraphs. See, this doesn't match. You can measure it with your finger if you want to. So what you're gonna have to do, oh, hold on, I went too far. There we go. What you're gonna need to do is go paragraph by paragraph and apply your double spacing. That would be 2.0. See, now that's closer to the same. and 2.0 and 2.0 and 2.0 and 2.0. There we go. All right. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and I'm going to put in my pagination header. So pagination header, so your header is in the upper right hand corner, and how I remember that is header ends with an R and right corner starts with an R. So I'm going to go to insert. I am not going to use header. I am not going to use header. A header is different from pagination. You can have a header and header pagination. I want add page numbers. And the reason you want add page numbers is that if you type the page number, it's not going to work. You have to format the page numbers, and you can only do that in page number formatting. You want all the way to the right, and you want to type your last name. This is going to make sense. This will make sense whenever I do my heading. My fake student is Jane Doe. Now, I'm going to look at, see my essay? See the font my essay is written in? It's Times New Roman. You have to use the same style and size font in your entire essay. So Times New Roman, and this is size 12. And now let me get out of there. And I'm going to check it too just to make sure. Yep, Times New Roman 12. So this is 13. Yours is, unless you do yours like I do mine all on the same document, um, yours is going to be your last name and one. Okay, so that's header pagination. Now I'm going to come over here. This is the top line of this page, and I'm going to do my heading. And your heading is your submission information. So the first thing it does is it puts in the student's name, the student's name, and we don't want any color on that. Okay, Jane Doe, because I'm from Southeast Texas. And then my instructor's name is Dr. McClellan. Yes, I prefer doctor. It costs me a lot of money and a whole lot of time to get that doctor, so I like it. Um, and please spell my last name correctly. Check it in the syllabus. And I definitely do not take Mrs. McClellan because McClellan is my maiden name, and I was never married to my father. For those of you who don't know, a maiden name is the name you were born with. So I am Dr. McClellan. That's that's my preferred handle. And then what is this? This is English 1301, and you can put the you can put English 1301 and you can put Freshman Composition 1. No abbreviations. The reason I'm abbreviating English is because this is how it's listed in the schedule. And you can put your section number if you want to, that's fine. You don't need the semester, okay? And then you put the date. And let's say this is, I'm going to use today's date. So it's the 9th of ooh, February, and it is 2024. Now there are two ways that you can do this. You can do it day, month, year. You could also do it month, day, year. What they have in common is you spell out the month. You use a word for the month. The other thing they have in common is you don't see any slashes or any hyphens in this in my dates. The only one and the only punctuation mark you use in a date is to put the comma after the day if you do it like this. Now, I personally prefer day, month, year. Now, as I'm looking at this, my title, see how close this is? I'm going to move this down one more, and it moves it down one more double space. Okay, so everything looks pretty good. Let me make sure my works cited page is where it's supposed to be. Works cited title is the first line on the page. This is all correct. Yeah. So let's talk about this draft. So now you have an essay draft. This, I know this is not what you're used to having. You're used to having a big old, just brain vomit for a rough draft. And technically, I don't do rough drafts. So by the time you get to your draft, your essay, first of all, your thesis statement focuses on a topic, a stance, and a plan of development with three major supporting details. Your essay itself has depth and scope. It is arranged coherently and is unified. So it's arranged according to how your thesis statement is arranged. And it is about your topic all throughout. All throughout. Now let's talk about what I haven't talked about yet is grammar, punctuation, spelling, usage, and academic style. At this point, if you want to, and you haven't before, and please remember, please look at the grading rubric from the outline. So the thesis statement, the outline, the research assignment, and the draft, the essay draft assignment, I count grammar, punctuation, spelling, usage, and style, academic style on all of those assignments. The only one that I don't is pre-writing. So the first thing, one, you should be writing in complete sentences, even if they're not grammatically correct. The pre-writing should be done in complete sentences. And from the pre-writing, or at least the outline forward through the assignments, you should have already been correcting your grammar, punctuation, spelling, usage, and academic style. Now, you can, and I'm going to show you this because um, most of y'all gonna, I'm assuming most students use it anyway. At this point, you can use an online AI checker. So I'm just going to go to ChatGPT. I have an account, so let me log in. And I'm gonna say mark all grammar, punctuation, spelling, usage, and style errors in essay. And then I'm going to copy and paste my essay. And it's going to show me all of these things that I need to consider changing. Now don't follow all of their suggestions. For example, I'm telling you, do not make the link clickable on your works cited page because that's not MLA. And that's not too bad. Not too bad. And so what I would do is I would pull up this and I would go through Nature's Healthy Candy. See, that's the other thing is it says consider capitalizing all major words, but they are capitalized. It just doesn't understand it. Now, in the second paragraph, most apples are eaten raw. Did it say second paragraph? Yeah, most apples. Let me find it. Oh, look, it's got it. Look, it says it's in the second paragraph, but it's the first paragraph. And see, it's not, it's, my sentence looks exactly like this. Uh, I don't know about y'all, but I call it fall, not autumn. James Shorter, James Short et al. So it even picked up, but see, so it's not using MLA. Oh, it did catch that one though. It's supposed to. So I'm showing you this because I'm trying to warn you. AI, grammar, punctuation, spelling, and usage checkers are not infallible, and you may still have the same mistakes, or you may make other mistakes. What they're telling you to do may also be a mistake. And also, it doesn't pick up academic style. So you will have to look. Let me go back to my, hold on while I pull up Blackboard. So when you go into your English class, when you're to the point that you're editing, and this is from the this is in the from the first essay, from the first assignment. So these are all of your grammar, punctuation, spelling, and usage errors, and these are your academic style errors, and these are your MLA formatting errors. And I've tried to find a video for each one so that you could watch it. So just to look at academic style errors. No hyperbolic language, no informal language, no first and second person pronouns, no contractions, no sentences that start with a conjunction, be specific with time, no commands, questions, or exclamations. Do not use adverbs as introductory elements, no colons or semicolons. Do not refer to reader, audience, or yourself, and write in the plural unless you are referencing a specific person. So if you don't know what these things are and you watch the video and you still don't understand it, I need to talk to you. You need to talk to me. You're not in trouble. You just need to talk to me and let me see if I can clarify what's going on. Now for the MLA, I've got YouTube videos here, and I've also got a link to Purdue OWL, which is where I get all of my secondary sources for this app. Okay, so what do you do with this? Well, if you are, whether you are turning in everything as one document, one long document, like my example is, or if you are turning each document in separately, so like this might be its own document. When you turn this in, when you're ready for me to grade this as a final draft, you need to take all the highlighting off of it. So we need to, well, let me try that again. So we need to take off all the bold facing and we need to take off all the highlighting. Oh gosh, that didn't work. I wonder why not. Hold on, sorry. Oh, it's gonna make me, oh, this is gonna aggravate me. Okay, watch. This may happen to you. So I'm gonna use the clear formatting. And so, yeah, it cleared, it really did clear formatting. So I'm going to go back in here. So what I might would do is when I'm ready for my, oops, when I'm ready for my essay to be graded, I would probably go in and do a copy and a paste and then take care of it this way. It might be easier to work on a copy of it than work on it this way. Okay, so so there you go. So there's my draft. Got me a works cited page. Got me 5 paragraphs. You got 5 sections in your outline. You should have 5 paragraphs. I've got a direct quote, and everything is it's focused on the thesis statement. The thesis statement focuses on a stance and a plan of development and a topic. It's coherent. It's unified. It has good research that supports what I've said, and it has MLA formatting. So the thing about the highlighting, if you use highlighting, you're using it to check yourself. You're using it to check what you need. And if you look on in each of these assignments, if you look on the grading rubrics, the they all show you what you need. One, the one for the pre-writing, do you have depth and scope? The one for the outline, do you have coherency and unity? The one for the research, does your research fit in and support what you've already said? And then um, on your draft, does it have good MLA formatting? So if you look at the rubric, it'll tell you what you need. And if you still don't understand, then talk to me. Talk to me. And I am so sorry this is such a long video, but yeah, talk to me if you need help. And thank you for listening to this long video. Bye.